Let me ask y'all this. What do y'all think the problems Disney is facing right now when it comes to the parks are?
They're traditional.
Before we move on to what we think that they might do, what do y'all think the problems are?
They're too traditional at this point.
Too traditional.
Yeah, stale.
Not innovative.
Yeah,
I was just about to say that. It's lack of innovation to go with it.
I would go with that.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, we covered, like, Universal and, like, all the different... I mean, yes, some of these ride systems that you can buy off the shelf, but there's a couple of ride systems that Universal has patented themselves they've created, which Disney used to do. Like, I remember when Dinosaur or Indiana Jones and the one in California, Don't Look in the Eye of Mara, that one.
Right.
But I remember
Forbidden
that.
Eye.
Yeah.
I can't
And
remember.
when that ride system came out, I was like, oh, this is great, man. There's so many things they could do with that. And even when they released the Pirates ride system in Shanghai, I was like, oh, well, hopefully they bring it over here. 'Cause that's really awesome.
100%.
Haven't heard a damn thing about it.
No.
Nothing about it. I mean,
Everything innovative gets opened overseas. And by the time we get it, it's like 10 years later. You've seen the video on YouTube. You're not really all that jazzed about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like Ratatouille. Nice little thing, but I mean...
It was open in
It
Paris
was
for
too
the
late.
longest time. Yeah.
Yeah, it was too late by the time we got it, and it wasn't the draw that it could have been.
I think the number one problem that I hear people talk about with Disney is it's too much work.
Oh,
It's just not, it's too much work. You have to plan the dining, and then you got to plan your fast passes, and you got to pay for all these upcharges. And like genuinely trying to explain to people the differences between Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes and virtual queues and early entry and just all these things, you know, like I want to help educate people so that they can maximize their time. But when I start to add like the 4th, 5th, and 6th system that they need to understand in order to have a good vacation, they're like, seriously? Yeah.
No, I definitely agree with that, because nowadays in the workplace, there's so many technical systems that users have to learn anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just thinking about my higher education job, and there's like so many different platforms that those employees or staff have to learn, and then to go on vacation to have to do the same damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, to your point, Danny, that's not a vacation.
That's very stressful. That's highly stressful.
No, because you need to do it all in the moment, I really can't help them. If someone says to me like, hey, I'm in the system and I'm having trouble, can you get me this? Or can you, like, I can try to pop in and see what it looks like, but I'm not there on the ground with them. So I don't know, like, if you're at Small Worlds, I don't want to book you something way over here. And so I'm trying to prep people, but there's only so much I can help set up ahead of time. Anyway, so it's just, I think it is too complicated. I think that it feels like nickel and diming. You know, every day you got to add this thing on. And then if you want to ride the really popular ones, you got to add on another thing after that. And even though, like, if you take the cost of all those things together, it's still significantly less than Universal Express Pass. It feels worse to people because they're paying it in the moment, every day, person by person, ride by ride, even for individual lightning lanes. And it's just like, even though it's cheaper, it's like, it just feels worse.
It does.
So,
yes.
when people add Universal Express Pass onto their vacations, they paid for it 45 days ago. And the explanation for how to use it is you just show up whenever you want.
Yeah.
Just walk in.
And depending on the levels that you get once a day on particular things, or if you have the unlimited,
everything.
you could do it whenever. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's very easy.
It all comes down to, when do you go? Whenever you want.
Yeah.
Whereas with Disney, man, I just saw this past week where they topped out at like, what was it, like $39?
Yeah.
For Genie Plus, and still you're subject to availability as to what's left, and that's not even getting into the really good rides. That's the other thing the Express Pass does at Universal is it takes into account every ride except maybe one
Hagrid's. That's it.
There's a couple of things that are not on it. Yeah.
Right.
But like my friend and I, when we went to Universal, we set our alarm for 8 o'clock every morning. And when we're at Disney, it's like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
We're getting up to get ready to get to the parks to make sure we have a good day. But with Universal, we didn't even have Express Pass. Well, you still didn't need to like freak out and get there early.
Well, and that's the other thing about Express Pass is that if you book one of the deluxe resorts, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah, you get it included.
It's free just for having. I mean, you book a room over at Disney and you book at the Grand Floridian. You just have the luxury of knowing that you're staying not too far away from the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
That's really all the benefit you get is that, hey, the room that I'm barely going to be in is not that far away from where I'm going to be going.
Right.
And that's a nice feeling, and I love staying on the monorail loop. But to know that you can go ahead and get the express pass included and ride as many rides as you want, as many times as you want, whenever you want, that is such a draw. So yeah, I think that's a fair point, more than a fair point.
No, absolutely. And if you're a business-minded person listening to this podcast, and you may be able to break down the numbers as to, hey, in actuality, you're doing this, you're paying for this, or whatever else. But the perception of how the ease of you doing your vacation makes a big difference, which is something that analytics do not capture effectively.
Yeah.
And just by us talking here, it's just like the ease of doing a universal vacation. If I had to choose between a week once Epic Universe opens and I want something easy, right now it's leaning like Universal's got it made. So that's to Rachel's point. Yeah, that's a big problem with ease of vacation on your vacation.
Yes, that's what it's supposed.
It's supposed to be a vacation. That's exactly right.